How do you measure the success of your programs?
There are a number of different measures. So we start with how many people came, of course. That's a very important measure. But what did they do when they got there? So how long did they watch a video for? Where did they go after they watched a video? Did they share what they learned with someone else? How did they do on the testing of their knowledge around that material? And did they continue on from one topic to a completely different topic? So did we capture their imagination enough to build momentum for continuous learning? So that's really the types of things that we look at. We moving to include things like Net Promoter Score. We look at people's likes, of course, and their traffic. But we use the measurement of the individual, not just what their, what a cookie says, for example, because we really want to know, again, using design thinking, what you as an individual, what your experience was.
Do you get client feedback as well?
We have people give comments on individual pieces. We give people opportunity to comment on their experiences. We recently introduced learning maps. So probably for the last 5 or 6 months, we've been able to have people finish their Think Academy experience on a topic, and then they are given role-based maps that allow them to continue their education. Again, all with the idea of, well, what can I do after step 1, which leads me to step 2? What can I do after step 2, which leads me to step 3? And the feedback that we've gotten from those is just phenomenal. They really, really appreciate that kind of instructional guidance. We've gotten feedback on that. We've gotten a lot of feedback on, global examples and people suggesting new ways of building out the experience itself.
Do you find that getting that type of feedback from a client helps retain them longer?
IBMers are in some ways a captive audience. So as part of our, it's a 380,000 person captive audience, but nonetheless, so as employees, what we try to do is identify cohorts of people. So people who are one-timers, they just came. How do we need to treat them to get them to come back and not just be a one-timer, but maybe a some-timer? So building it into their routine. What types of tactics and approaches are going to work for them? Then we have our regulars. We know that they're going to come back on a fairly regular basis, but maybe seasonally they might have a big holiday or a big sales season or something that's going to interfere with their learning. How do we get them from being regulars to being loyalists, where this is something that I do every single month? This is something that's just built into the way that I do my job. And then, there are people who are binge watchers, so they treat it like binge watching Orange is the New Black or something like that. Or they won't come, and then they'll sit down and they'll look at 4 or 5 different pieces at the same time, which is fine too. But it's a different approach. So they're giving feedback not just through what they say qualitatively on the platform, but their behavior. So we're watching both of those things very carefully and trying to engage them in very interactive and social way, so that you might get an email that says, "Oh, I noticed that you were here last month. Thank you for coming back." And or "I noticed it's been a while since you've come. I suspect that you'll like this topic since you like this other one." So it's learning from digital, learning from the way that digital marketing treats customers and applying that to the way in which we're doing internal education for IBMers.